Gatineau. Kirigan zibi ne donjiba. Animitagze udayin ne dishnikas. My name is Clearwater Woman speaking from the heart. I am from the Loon clan, Mongo Dodem. And my name is Doreen Stevens. I am an Anishinaabe, I am Algonquin, I am a woman, I am indigenous, I am a mother. I was born in Maniwaki, Quebec, and I was raised in Kitigan ZB, Anishinaabe territory, Algonquins of Eastern Woodland. I have 7 brothers and sisters. This is where I grew up. This is the land, Maniwaki, that I lived in, I grew up in. This is my people, and this is my story. What kept me away from my roots? I am a 60 scoop. I am a day school First Nations Indigenous woman. I was raised in a French Canadian home in the Outawa region, and I grew up in Montreal. I was away from my culture. I was away from my roots, my totems. What kept me away was the language. Denied my heritage, denied my rights, my education. Very different than how I would have been raised. I spoke French. I spoke French very well. I spoke English. In early 70s, we were not allowed to speak our language. We had to learn French Canadian. It was the law. It was very important that we had this educational background. We were denied our medicines. We were away from our roots. We were away from our clans. We were brought in a Christian pathway, Christianity. We were educated in Catholic, Roman Catholic. We were taught to be who we were by our names given to us. My original family name was Mongo. When you take away the last name, you take away the culture. You take away the heritage. You take away the roots. My spirit name, our family last names, 8 generations down, was Piju. Spirit gum, the lynx, the animals from the forest, our connections. We were away from that in the big city, roaming, living, music. We couldn't play our music. Our dances were gone. They were forbidden. And we weren't no longer walking in the forest. We were riding in cars. We were taking airplanes, transportation. Everything was denied from being closely connected to the environment. The environment that we grew up in, the water was collected in a different way. Everything was completely different. And we were denied this culture, this background, this history. We were taken away by listening to different sounds, different voices, different languages. Some were beautiful, some were kind, some were unkind. Most of all, they were leading us to a different person, to be a completely different person, other than who we were actually inside our roots, inside ourselves, introvert and extrovert. We were very denied of our ceremonies, away from them. We were brought to be in an educational system, to work for a living, to be someone other than we choose to be. It was very important financially, and prosperity was very important. Each individual families were brought to this system because it was very important that we live in the system that we were brought up on. So I followed this path, and I slowly absorbed into the colonization. This is who I am. In the education system that I grew up in, I worked as a visual artist, as an actress, as a singer, as a poet, as a writer, as a composer, and I practiced many different cultures. I learned to sing. I lived in New York City, in Manhattan. I worked at the Manhattan Criminal Court in New York. I was there during the time that John Lennon had got shot. I lived and worked in 100 Center Street near Central Park. We'd have a vigil there. We celebrated with many different cultures and people. I worked in the Bronx, and I crossed the Manhattan Bridge, and I worked with a lot of different people. There I met artists like Kojak, that's the Albert Finney, Gregory Hines. We were in a film. We were, it was called The Wolfen, and there was many different people that were actors there. And we eventually joined the American Indian Dance Theater troupe in New York. It was something that we wanted to, that's something that I was thinking about very hard. If I should come into this culture, or should I leave it and just be with my friends in Manhattan? And we used to play baseball there underneath the bridge near Brooklyn, and we were very connected as a group, but we were not connected culturally. There was many different people that I grew up with in Montreal. There was a group of Italian family that I grew up with. I worked in an Italian restaurant as a waitress, and I worked with an all-family owned and operated, and I learned a lot about the Italian people, the way they cooked. I worked in the salon, and I worked in the Giovanni salon in Montreal, and I worked in the hairdressing salon, and again I got to know how Italian culture was back then. So I grew up knowing different cultures. I had friends from Greece, I had friends from Italy, I had friends from Spain, and I grew up a lot of in multiculturalism because I lived 45 years in Montreal. So I was away from all of that culture. And I was thinking often in the back of my head how I should connect continuously with my culture while I was watching many other people and many other cultures struggle. I thought about my hometown and about the way that they didn't have water. And water was very important back then. We'd gather the water by the wells, and my brother would pick it up when we were young, 4 or 5 years old. And the water was not good to drink. There was the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples was stating that during this time, in the early 80s, it was known that the land of Maniwaki was called the Badlands because it was full of uranium in the water. Now, for 25 to 30 years, our ancestors and our families, our way of life, the fish, the water, it's uranium. So they have been giving them water that they have to take every day and deliver to each individual homes because of this poison of the water. Also, it affects the animals, their hunting grounds, their harvesting rights. And I think that it was very important that I connect to that, and I let be known back then. So I began to write, I began to read, and I began to think a lot about my connection with my own culture, looking at other people's culture. And I think that was very important as an Indigenous woman. To look into the lives is like looking into the mirror of another history, your own history. Looking on the inside, looking in, out of the box. To me, it was very important that I connect in my mind to stay very close to the heart, because the heart is our first teacher. It's our first reminder of who we are, and now we connect. I love life. Kisakian, I remember. Kisakian means I love you. Je t'aime in French. And I remember the language. I remember the words in my mind. And when I see visually, and I looked at the other cultures, I connected this way. I seen through the eyes of the other Indigenous people the lives that I was missing with my ancestors of Eastern Woodland. I thought about how they struggled to survive. I thought about how they tried to unite with their families and live through the history of being denied their language. In the early 70s, they were not allowed to speak the language. And I was brought away, and I was definitely a different person coming back, definitely. Mishomis, grandfather, our ancestral knowledge, kokomis, and in many different languages, Kyujim, kokomis, nokomis, grandmothers. These are the people that connected me to my culture. It was our way of life to connect, to break and to mend together and to become one again with your ancestral lineage is very important. It was a way of our culture to be connected. Bokshkon, it means to break. And we connected. Introvert, extrovert, we went into the sweat lodges. I thank today the ancestrals, the lineage, the sun dancers, Harry Snowboy, Leroy Bennett, Kenny Awasis, all the elders, Randall Prue, Bobby Woods, Tashanka, the people that brought us together, the people that kept strong when we were denied this heritage. How I connected to my culture was how I was as an Indigenous woman, a visual artist. I connected by looking at the earth, the environment of the Eastern Woodland, the patterns, the environment, the connection, the stories that were orally transmitted into our circles in the 7 generations and in the teachings. Love, bravery, truth, wisdom, honesty, humility, respect. Our culture, our way of life. When you walked into the lodge, you walked in from the eastern door and you thought about the connection that we had with the ancestral lineage in the 4 directions. I still spoke the language carefully I thought in my mind as I walked into the sweat lodge. I walked in from the eastern door. Mishomis is the grandfather. He's is the son. In Navajo Sign Language, Shkude is the fire. In the four directions, we have the four elements: the earth, the air, the fire, the water. Washkiki, we have the medicines, the four sacred medicines: the sweetgrass, the sage, the cedar, the tobacco. I connected with it. When we smudged, we went into the circle. Sweetgrass invites the good. The sage came in from the west. The sweetgrass from the south. The north. Cedar. Tobacco from the south. We all had our connections with our mental, physical, spiritual, emotional balance. The heart was our first reminder, Ode. My spirit name is Anamitagase Udayeng, clear water woman speaking from the heart. That is my connection. The heart is our first teacher. It's our first assignment. Kisakian, I love you. I love nature. I love the connection. I love the environment. I love my ancestors. I love who I am. I share who I am as an indigenous woman. I am connected to my culture. I'm connecting by my poetry, changing woman. Frosted echoes lying over for trees, frozen memories of my dormant past. The utter sentiments, a cup of grace. Final toast of a marvel friendship. Indeed, we danced over Mother Earth with the rain frogs. Twins of love, born from rainbow woman, follow the footsteps of the graceful dancer. Sunrise direction, restore the beauty. The connection with the sweat lodge, when you come in from the eastern door and you sit into the lodge and the elder and you and the universe and you connect, and when you come out you feast and you have the berries and the medicines and you renew your spirit. You go in connection with the spiritual realms, and when you come out crawling, you have renewed your spirit. In the 4 seasons of the winter and the spring and then the summer and the fall, there is a reflection of the 4 stages in our lives: infancy, adolescent, adult, and elder. Those are the reminders of how we pass the seasons with the beauty of our environment and how we connect. The fertility, the renewal of the spirit of the earth. I am born in the flowering moon, the strawberry moon. That is my connection. That is who I am. And then the water, Nibi. And when I sing a song, I give homage to the water, the ever-flowing life of water. Esqui, the color red, is the blood life of Mother Earth, always flowing with the energy, ever flowing through the woman and giving life, honoring life. Nibi. Nibi Wabo is the song to give homage, to pray by the water and give homage to the spirit world. Through praise, song, and dance, I connected. The phoenix represents the fire, Shkude. Bold as an eagle unfolding these wings, thoughtless of facing the fearless warrior. The night is my light and darkness my enchantress fears. Elsewhere he enters to invade my dwelling. Behind me he awaits until the eclipse. Blinded by consent, he conquers me once again, crushing my wings. There I enter the glacier light, the ice house where no humanity exists. At last I've awakened to overcome the rain, who turns me to ashes, unfolding my greatest weapon, my fears. I fear no more. I give my life. We are the co-creators of magic. We are the seventh fire. We are the chakra. Mashkiki, the medicines, my connection. Kiriganzi bi, do dem ne donjiba. Mashkiki is the connection to my medicine, my way of life, my culture. I come from the dream time, the dreams that speak to us in our hearts, in our minds, and in our way of life as an indigenous woman. I became the strength of this culture through my medicines, through my medicine bundles, through my songs, through my ceremonies. I am connected. This is who I am. And I want to share this poem with you. It's about the medicines. Medicine life. Head feather people, stand beside me, protect my grandchildren. Pink thunder of the skies, bring me gifts of tobacco in the medicine bundle. Supply me with the earth's offerings. Holy boy, sing me a recovery and bring rain to my eyes and arrows through my veins so I can know anger and smile at my brother. I had a dream, a beautiful dream of connecting to the earth with the medicines, with my heart. Long ago, we were connected like tree frogs. The medicines were carried from our eyes to our sensitive fingers, and we picked up the medicines and we hold them closely to our heart, and we healed the people, and we connected with our culture. Today, we are using pharmaceutical medicines, synthetic. We are not connected, but this is a way of becoming stronger, is to reconnect with the medicines. Mashkiki kwe, medicine woman's, dodems, my grandmother, my roots, my culture. I am a strong woman. Son of a brave withdrawn from plenty, you're captivated in the colorless climate. Nurture your wounds on your sacred robe and dance to the enchantment of the whirling wind. And in harmony, we shall celebrate with the forces of all creation. I am an indigenous woman. I am the keepers of the eastern woodland. I am in this territory. I represent my indigenous culture. I am strong. I am resisting colonization. I am an indigenous woman. I speak my culture in my mind. Visually, I see it. I stand strong here on this Maniwa Aki and the territory of Turtle Island. I am here, not denying my heritage. I am an indigenous woman. I am here. I am here on this land. I am a strong woman. Women are from the first fire, and it is our responsibility as a woman to keep this heritage, the traditional heritage, to pass on to generations after generations. We are strong. We are here, and we are here to stay. Thank you to our grandfathers, the sun dancers, the medicine people, the elders, the totems. Kichimikwach kishemeneto. Ashij meshomshak. Kichimikwach.
Love, bravery, truth, wisdom, humility, honesty, respect. We are the people who went through many hardships. Eldest teachings of the past, keeping us strong, laughing, loving, and moving on, living strong. Love, bravery, truth, wisdom, humility, honesty, respect. We are the people who went through many hardships. Eldest teachings of the past.